Something that makes my channel special is the fact that I make a lot of shorts with facts that maybe many of you don't know. From characters that take 9 years to unlock, things you'll never see in your life, or facts that are truly curious about the game. And yes, I'm afraid of the shovel. So today you'll see a 30-minute compilation of random facts from Brawl Stars shorts that I've made. From the best facts to the ones I've liked the most in history, or some that are just really funny and worth mentioning. So yeah, let's get started. Did you know that in Brawl Stars it could take you up to 9 years to get just one character? Yeah, imagine that today you just installed Brawl Stars and you don't have a single character. But think about what you want. Unlocking a Brawler you thought was awesome, but first you have to unlock all the others that exist in the game. Well, really, how long would it take you to do all this? Let's imagine the worst case scenario. I mean, if you have the worst luck in the world and you don't get anything from star drops, on the other hand, you don't spend money on the game. So if you want to unlock all these characters and get the Brawler you want, you'd have to save up a total of 138,975 credits, with the only way to get them being the Battle Pass, where they only give you 1,300 credits. So it would take you about 107 months, or roughly 9 years, to get just one Brawler. The first versions of the Brawlers in Brawl Stars. Creating a Brawler involves thousands of redesigns and changes, most of which are quite interesting, right? Some of them are just color changes or changes to their facial expressions, like with Mr. P. His eyes went through a lot of changes, and that's actually a meme. The same thing happened to Spike, who was originally supposed to have a strange nose or eyes. We can see some other design changes with Rosa, who used to wear a lab coat as part of her normal skin. Or like with Vivi, who had too many changes. Her bat went through a lot of redesigns and her hairstyle changed quite a bit too. Or Carl, who at first his pickaxe wasn't meant to work like a boomerang, but instead it would come back thanks to a rope. But one of the biggest and most interesting changes is that at first Jessie was only meant to use a tank. Yes, just like Meg. And well, then there are others who throw in a few homages. Did you know where the skin rarities in Brawl Stars come from? Yes, many times in Brawl Stars there are skins that are not worth it at all, and many people complain that Supercell doesn't want to force people to spend money. But what makes one skin have a different rarity than another? Well, to start, we have the basic skin. These usually don't have a big change, let's say. It's just the skin with a patch or a different color. Continuing with the super rare skins, here, something quite interesting happens. Because we can notice that these skins are recolors, but a bit more elaborate. Whether it's because of a collaboration with a brand, because the Brawler doesn't change much in their base model, or because these don't have any changes in the Brawler's basic attacks. To continue with the epic skins, this depends on and is greatly influenced by the time period in which they were released. Well, while there are some epic skins that are pretty simple and honestly don't look that cool, they can have a complete change in the character, whether it's in their colors, weapons, or even in their victory or defeat poses. The mythic skins, yes, maybe they're the most controversial skins in all of Brawl Stars, but on top of that, by default, they already come with profile pictures and emotes, in addition to a drastic change in several aspects of the skin, especially in how it looks, making it stand out in a match. Moving on to the legendary skins, these are characterized by having different voice lines, effects that maybe other skins wouldn't have, plus a complete pack of pins for this skin. And finally, we have the hypercharged skins, which simply react to the hypercharge. Did you know there's a battle card in Brawl Stars that's so expensive? You might never be able to get it. The battle card in Brawl Stars is what shows up before starting a match. Each player has a unique and different battle card. And basically, it's used to show off the things you have in the game, whether they're exclusive items or not. Or maybe you're just showing that you spend money on it. If you want to appear as the biggest spender, there's a battle card so expensive you'll likely never see it in the game. To start, the first thing you would need is to get Case, a Brawler, which costs 1,000 gems. The next thing you would have to do is buy his gold skin, which costs 2,500 gems. But of course, first you have to unlock the silver skin, which costs 1,000 gems. Next, you would need to collect 2 levels of fame from Star Wars, which will give you a profile picture, a pin, and a wallpaper. And finally, you would have to choose one of the titles from a previous battle pass. This would result in your battle card, looking something like this. And after putting all this together, you should ask yourself, what are you doing with your life? Did you know there's a character so bad in Brawl Stars that even the bots avoid him? Yes, this may sound like a conspiracy theory, but it's true. In Brawl Stars, you can get matched with different characters during a match. In fact, the bots themselves can choose different characters. So I decided to play several matches with bots. And interestingly, there's one character in the whole game that's almost impossible to see in a match, being so bad that even the bots won't use him. Maybe you're thinking of the walking meme that is Doe, but this character can actually appear. Or maybe you're thinking of another character as rarely used as Eevee. But no, the character we're talking about is none other than Miko, who's so forgotten that not even the bots use him. Truly exclusive skins in Brawl Stars. Nowadays, Brawl Stars has several skins that have returned as recolors in one way or another, which is why they stopped being exclusive. But interestingly, there are two skins that haven't shown up in the game for years. There's no way to get them through a recolor, and just by chance. They are 30 gem skins. These are the Soccer Colt and Soccer El Primo skins. All these skins have recolors for different American clubs, but all the skins were released on the same date. And since then, they haven't gotten a redesign or any way to get them in the game. They're so exclusive that in 2025, if you have them, they could be even rarer than Star Shelly herself. Did you know there's something in Brawl Stars so expensive? It costs over 3 million gold! Yes, this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but it's 100% real. Out of all the rewards you can get in Brawl Stars, this is one of the most controversial. It's the records which are often impossible. But there's one record that takes this is the Golden Wardrobe for which you need to unlock 50 golden skins to get it. But it's not that simple, because first you have to unlock 40 golden skins to get the records for Golden Wardrobe. 1, 2, and 3. And of course, also, to unlock gold skins, you first need to unlock the silver skins. I mean, you need to unlock 90 gold and silver skins, which means you would need 3,150,000 gold just to unlock this little thing. Did you know your Brawl Stars account could be deleted without you knowing? Believe it or not, Supercell could someday just delete your account. It doesn't matter how many brawlers you have. It doesn't matter how many skins you own, or all the trophies you've collected along the way, or how much money you've spent on Brawl Stars. And that's because in Supercell's terms and conditions, it says that if you go more than 180 days without logging into Brawl Stars, Supercell can completely delete your account. Sometimes this may not occur, but be careful. Your lifetime investment could vanish in 3 seconds. So what happens if you stop playing Brawl Stars for a year? I actually have a video explaining that. Did you know your Brawl Stars account could be as valuable as a house? Yes, maybe you're one of those people who have put too much money into Brawl Stars, but fully maxing out a Brawl Stars account could be worth quite a lot. Well, of course, you can buy Brawlers with gems, and you can also upgrade Brawlers with gems, and of course, all their abilities can be bought with gems. So, if you try to max out each of the Brawlers on an account, the price would be quite high. Around 248,225 gems, or about 12,400 gems. If that doesn't seem like much to you, we can also count the cosmetics. So, by buying all of these in the game, the total sum would be over $300,000, which would be enough to buy a house. Did you know where all the types of brawlers in Brawl Stars come from? As we all know, in Brawl Stars there are different types of brawlers, and the game labels them. But why does Supercell release assassins left and right? Well, to start, we have the brawlers who are tanks, brawlers with a lot of health but very little range, and then we have the assassins. We have brawlers with high mobility due to their super or basic attacks. They deal heavy close-range damage, but you'll notice they have less health than tanks. Support brawlers are brawlers who stand out for supporting, whether it's by healing, giving the team more mobility, or providing some other advantage. Control brawlers are those who, thanks to their abilities, will prevent enemies from being in a certain area, like an area of effect or a turret. Damage dealers are brawlers that deal a lot of damage, whether it's at short or long range. But in this type, there's a wide variety of brawlers, which makes them very versatile. Marksmen are brawlers who attack from really far away, and artillery brawlers are the throwers who, well, throw. Did you know you can get the -1 position in a showdown match in Brawl Stars? Yeah, this bug is pretty curious, and it seems like Supercell has forgotten about it, because as of the date I'm uploading this video, it still works. To replicate this bug, you just have to enter a survival match, either in duo or trio, and play with the Breath of Life modifier. By doing this, simply by playing the match, no matter what place you finish in, you'll end up with a rank of -1. Something that, if it could actually be applied in a real match, would be the funniest thing that could ever happen to you. The most hated brawlers in the history of Brawl Stars, something that always causes controversy in the Brawl Stars community. These are the kind of brawlers where there's no middle ground. Either people love them, or they simply hate and crucify them. One brawler that people didn't like was El Primo. And this is because players liked the original model much more because of the memes. This also happened after the addition of Jesse's remodel. But of course, the oldest version of the hated remodels is the remodel of Ricochet, since this one was not liked at all because it completely ruined the original look of the Brawler. And it's not just the Brawler models that people hate, but also their icons. After Piper's remodel, the community made fun of how ugly her icon was. But anyway, what other big remodels do you think have been really bad? Let me know in the comments, and by the way, subscribe, because that's it! Did you know that getting a trio of Brawlers in Brawl Stars is going to be more expensive than buying GTA 6? And yes, as we all know, you can buy a lot of things in Brawl Stars, from skins to upgrades and characters. But interestingly, after the release of the new Brawler, which was Nori, unlocking Nori's trio with Kenji and Kaze, the game's prettiest group, would cost a fortune. It's wiser to save your money and subscribe to the channel. Well, to unlock these Brawlers, you would have to spend a total of 2,397 gems. If you think that's a lot of money, in real-world money, it would be about $120. This actually costs more than GTA 6, which is priced at $80. It's a strange curiosity, but if you want to learn more about Nori, I made a video. Did you know there's a Brawler who is about to go 2 years without a new skin? Yeah, something that's no surprise to anyone is that Supercell often forgets to release skins for many Brawlers, leaving them completely neglected. Since there are several cases like that in the game, there's one alarming case where a Brawler has gone more than 2 years without a new skin in the game. And this is strange, because this is, so to speak, an important Brawler. No, we're not talking about Jae Jung. The Brawler we're talking about is Shelly. Yes! The starting Brawler, whose last skin was Star Shelly, which was released on July 2024. This Brawler has gone almost 2 years without a new skin. Did you know that a character in Brawl Stars was leaked more than 5 years ago and actually never ended up being released? Yes, as we all know, a lot of game content often gets leaked from Supercell. Whether it's some skins or simply Brawlers that end up being added to the game code. From the updates, there was a Brawler with a pretty strange mechanic that ended up being leaked in an update. However, this one never actually made it into the game, or well, at least not until now. This Brawler is known as Bomb Pet Thrower because he attacks using a pet, which will follow your basic attacks, and his super will make it stronger. Did you know Brawl Stars once banned a map for its controversial theme? Yes, this sounds pretty stupid, because if we look at the maps in Brawl Stars, they never really show anything truly strange. However, this changed one day with the map maker, and in the community's eagerness to create a truly fun map, a user created this map that referenced a school. Let's just say this wasn't a normal, ordinary school, but rather a school belonging to United Shooters. This made the map quite popular, and it ended up winning several times in future votes. So in the end, Supercell had to ban it because of how controversial it was. Did you know being bad at Brawl Stars is actually harder than being one of the top players? It may sound strange, but it's true. We all know that Brawl Stars is about becoming one of the best players in the world. But let me tell you, the real challenge isn't doing all of that, but actually doing the complete opposite. Well, interestingly, when you unlock a new Brawler and have them at low trophies no matter what, you'll always get matched against bots for the first 140 trophies. So when you play these matches, it's much harder to lose than to win, but it doesn't end there. And if we look at all the ranks in competitive mode, one of the highest ranks, which is the Master rank, has a total of 26% of players, and the Silver rank belongs to less than 3% of the players. So yeah, if you're genuinely bad at Brawl Stars, maybe it's not as bad as they say. Did you know there's a skin in Brawl Stars that's so bad it only came out once and never came back again? Yes. As we discussed in an earlier video, there are several Brawl Stars skins that just aren't worth it, either because they're bad or simply not very good. But interestingly, out of all the skins that exist, there's one that really never came back again. In the game, it only came out once, and of course, it's not like anyone is waiting for it to return. This is the Poco Star skin that came out in the 3rd season of the Brawl Pass, and it's so bad that since then, nobody has asked for it to come back. Did you know that Mandy in Brawl Stars is not the Brawler with the longest range in the whole game? Yes! Everyone knows Mandy has one of the longest ranges in Brawl Stars. While many Brawlers' basic attacks have more range, Mandy's super goes extremely far. Although it's not infinite, it only lasts for 3 seconds. But interestingly, there is a Brawler that surpasses her, because this Brawler has infinite range. This Brawler is Lumi. While her basic attacks don't have infinite range when thrown, when she pulls them back to herself, their range can cover everything, even an entire Shangri Showdown map, which is quite a distance. Did you know that more than 99% of people in the game own one of the most expensive skins in Brawl Stars? Yes! Among all Brawl Stars skins, some are quite expensive and difficult to obtain. Whether it's because they're expensive, limited time, or require spending over $300 in the game. But interestingly, out of all the skins, there's one skin that, no matter how expensive it is, more than 99% of people have it. So in a way, this skin is an NPC skin in Brawl Stars. But which skin is it? Well, this is the Doug Dorado skin, and yes, everyone has it because it was given away for free. But this is even stranger, since 99.93% of people in the game have it. And in comparison, other free skins, which are also expensive, don't even reach 60%. This is the top 5 skins that all players have in Brawl Stars. Yes, almost all players in the game have these skins. And if you have them, you should probably subscribe. To start, we have a very simple skin. The Pandanita skin, which 96.83% of all players in the game have a pretty high percentage. But this doesn't compare to our next skin, the Dragon Crow skin, which 98.23% of all players in Brawl Stars have. A similar case happens with our third place, the Tiger Leon skin. But that's not as much of an NPC skin in second place, because the latest added skin, the Troncal Royale skin, is owned by 99.14% of all players in the game. But the most NPC skin in the whole game is none other than the Doug Dorado skin, which 99.93% of all players have. So if you don't have it, you have one of the most unique accounts in all of Brawl Stars. Who was the first player in the history of Brawl Stars? You've definitely been playing Brawl Stars for a long time. Maybe 1 to 5 years. I don't know. But have you ever wondered who has been playing this game the longest? Well, we can find this out if you look at the player's code, because you can more or less determine when they started playing. For example, mine is this one, and it's a very long code. Interestingly, nowadays there's an account that only has 3 digits, and that's the account of Tohoku, a player whose ID is just 2PP. And this is the first player in the history of Brawl Stars, since he played during the limited launch of Brawl Stars in 2017 and hasn't played since that year. Did you know there's a skin in Brawl Stars that only 0.080% of people have in the game? Yes, in Brawl Stars there are too many skins, and some are so ugly or forgettable that they're not worth the price. But out of all the skins in the game, there's one that very few people have. If you happen to play with it by chance or mistake, your account would become one of the rarest and most exclusive in the game. Interestingly, this skin isn't even very expensive in terms of gems. It's not a collaboration skin that was available for a limited time, nor is it a hidden skin or anything like that. It's a skin that was available the whole time in Brawl Stars. However, this skin is forgettable and belongs to a less popular brawler. This is the Golden Pearl skin, a skin that only 0.080% of people have. And if you don't have it, should you subscribe to this channel? Did you know Sirius might not actually be the 100th brawler in Brawl Stars? This theory has actually been mentioned by many people, since before there was Buzz Lightyear as a temporary brawler. But could it be that out of all the brawlers in the game that aren't temporary, Sirius might not be the 100th brawler? Since, interestingly, there are brawlers that Supercell has had in the game code for a while, they just haven't released them because they're not 100% finished yet. But how can we know which brawlers these are? Well, we can see all of this thanks to the catalog, since in it the brawlers are ordered depending on the date they were added to the game. For example, in the catalog, Jean comes before Tick and Leon, but in the release order, Leon came out first, then Jean, and Tick was released several updates later. And this isn't just limited to old brawlers, because with new brawlers, like in the case of Pierce, the same thing happens with Gigi. So could it actually be that Sirius isn't the 100th brawler in Brawl Stars? Brawlers that changed rarity in Brawl Stars at the beginning of the game. When we were still in the beta, the mythic rarity was a rarity that didn't exist. But notice that Mortis did exist. So this brawler was originally an epic brawler, but after Tara was added, and also after the introduction of mythic brawlers, Mortis went from being an epic brawler to a mythic brawler. Another very curious change is that Tick was originally planned to be a mythic brawler, but ended up being a super rare brawler. I'm not just making this up, we can actually see this in the video where the second star powers are introduced, where each star power was colored according to the brawler's rarity. All of them except Tick's, which was the color of the mythic brawlers, meaning that in a way Tick was planned to be harder to get. And of course, how could it not be? Poco was planned to be a legendary brawler. Well, that's actually a lie. But he did go from being a super special brawler to being a special brawler. Did you know that Pierce isn't the brawler with the worst basic attack in all of Brawl Stars? Yes! We all know that Pierce attacks with the famous pineapple soda. But interestingly, this isn't the first time Brawl Stars has added such a shady secret. For example, we have Bonnie, a brawler that you might know, but she attacks using teeth. Another brawler is Evie, who attacks using her eggs, which is basically the same as attacking with babies. And believe me, that would also be pretty weird. Literally, it's Squeak. He's a brawler who goes around naked. And this doesn't just happen with brawlers, but sometimes it also happens with skins. For example, Chester Loki. Don't ask who Loki had kids with, according to Norse mythology canon. And literally, there's a skin that throws poop. So XD, did you know that by quitting Brawl Stars, it's actually easier to progress than by playing Brawl Stars? Did you know that? Yeah, this sounds pretty strange, but let me tell you it's true. Well, something we all know is that you have to play to get new rewards. But if by any chance you stop playing Brawl Stars for about a month, you could have a lot more things than by playing it every day. First of all, the brawlers will be upgraded automatically, which will help you win quite a few matches. And by chance, you might unlock a new brawler. Also, the daily rewards change quite a bit, since they could give you a hypercharge, a free legendary brawler, a legendary star drop, a skin that is totally exclusive and that you can't get in any other way. Also, the Battle Pass will have promotions to get it for just $2 as well as offers to unlock brawlers at a lower cost.
So yeah, even Supercell itself wants us not to play Brawl Stars. The sad story behind this nickname in Brawl Stars. Ever notice that? Even if you don't have the Sakura Spike skin, you can still get this P in Brawl Stars. Well, the truth behind all this is actually something sad. This pin was given as a tribute to a YouTuber named Upman, who ended up taking his own life at a very young age. This tribute is because the profile picture of his channel was a Sakura Spike, and that's why many Brawl Stars players ended up receiving the pink spike pin as a gift. So tell me, did you know this sad story? Curious about Brawl Stars mysteries? Explore this iceberg.
That's it! Did you know there was a character so broken and overpowered in Brawl Stars that they had to nerf him 15 times in a row?
Yes, we all know it. Yes.
Keeps releasing new brawlers that are too overpowered and disrupt the meta. Subscribe so this doesn't keep happening. However, there was a brawler so overpowered that they had to hit him with the ultimate nerf and give him 15 consecutive nerfs, which is the highest number of consecutive nerfs any brawler has ever received. They nerfed his health, his damage, his gadgets, his star powers, his hypercharge. They nerfed everything. And yes, this left him forgotten. Maybe you think this brawler is Kenji, a pretty annoying brawler. But no, this brawler only had maybe 7 nerfs. Maybe you think of another brawler like Egle Agrelauri, a brawler that used to fill entire teams, but no, this brawler only had 11 consecutive nerfs. Interestingly, this brawler is Charlie, who, yes, 15 consecutive nerfs left her forgotten. Did you know there was a brawler that it was literally impossible to win a match with? Yes, most brawlers have their advantages and disadvantages. Some have very clear counters, and others are really good. But interestingly, there was a brawler that it was impossible to win a match with, since he was so bad that he couldn't even kill a single brawler with as little health as a tick. You might think of a brawler like Gene, who when he was released was one of the worst brawlers in the whole game. But let me tell you that he could actually kill other characters. We also have other characters, like Lou, who was also pretty bad. But no, the brawler I'm talking about is none other than Kekolek. When she was released, the brawler's poor design made her basic attack damage and reload so weak it was impossible to win with her.
Who was the first brawler to ever get buffed in Brawl Stars history? Balance changes in Brawl Stars are a very important part of the game. With them, those brawlers that are already bad get improved. But have you ever wondered who was the first brawler to ever get buffed in the history of Brawl Stars? Well, today I bring you the answer. In this case, we have a 5-way tie, since Poco was given the ability for his super to go through walls. Nita and Jessie had the periodic health decay of their pets removed. Dynamite had his damage increased, and Greco was given an extra bullet to his basic attack. All of this happened on June 20th, 2017. Interesting, isn't it? But anyway, now you know what the first brawler ever nerfed in Brawl Stars history was. Nerfs in Brawl Stars are pretty interesting, since we know they can really mess up some brawlers. But have you ever wondered, who was the first brawler ever nerfed in the history of Brawl Stars? Maybe this question kept you up at night, but today I have the answer for you. Interestingly, there were actually 2 brawlers who held this spot, since Poco had his attack range added, and Nita as well. They lowered the health of Bruce the Bear. Both were nerfed on June 20th, 2017. Interesting, right?
Now you know.
Did you know using a certain emote in Brawl Stars could get you banned?
Yeah, this sounds ridiculous, since emotes in Brawl Stars just show cute things. And most of them are really simple, easy for the whole family. Maybe you're thinking about the dislike emote, which is pretty toxic, or some other toxic emote that could be annoying for any user who sees it. But no, interestingly, the emote we're talking about is this dislike emote, Charlie, the sadness emote. But why can a sadness emote get you banned from the game? Well, this emote has a pretty hidden little detail, and if by mere chance you end up spamming it in some chat, the emote will make a very particular sound, which could get you banned.
Shit. Did you know what determines a brawler's rarity in Brawl Stars?
Yes, we know that when Supercell releases a new brawler, obviously it's going to be a mythic brawler, but this doesn't happen because Supercell wants to make money. No, it's just that every rarity in Brawl Stars exists for a reason, and maybe you didn't know that. To begin with, we have the rare brawlers, and these brawlers help us understand the basic mechanics of the whole game, like the topic of aiming or what it's like to be a tank in Brawl Stars for the super rare brawlers. They have mechanics similar to what already existed, but with a great interpretation, adding some qualities to the brawler. For example, basic attacks that bounce or having only one basic attack. With the epic brawlers, we have a change in the brawler's basic mechanics, but this doesn't affect the gameplay itself. It affects the playability. These are things like charging a basic attack or charging the ultimate in different ways, not just using basic attacks for the mythic brawlers. We have rare mechanics that grant advantages, however, since they require skill to use, like moving tanks to a basic attack, or others that are more complicated and specific like mind control. Legendary brawlers were the first to introduce new mechanics like invisibility or unique matches. As for ultra legendary brawlers, we can't say much yet, since there's only one. But according to Supercell, these brawlers have something unique and special. And in this case, it would be having 4 gadgets, 4-star powers, and 2 hypercharges for a single brawler. Did you know that you can make your friend have minus 6,000 gems in Brawl Stars? Yes! This is 100% real, and be careful, because someone could do it to you. Well, as we all know, in the Supercell store of Brawl Stars, there's the possibility to gift things to your friends, whether it's gems, skins, battle passes, and this is pretty cool. But with this same feature, you can make someone end up with a debt of more than 6,000 gems or even lose their account. Will it get completely banned? Well, if by chance you gift a battle pass to a friend and then you end up refunding that same battle pass, the game will get confused and your friend will end up with a debt of 6,000 gems, and this debt can't be removed in any way, making it a huge way to scam people. So be careful who you accept a Brawl Pass from.
This is a regular Piper, except now she's not called Piper. Now she's called Polly. No, this isn't a well-made edit. It's just that now my Brawl Stars is in French. It's a really interesting curiosity about the game, that in some languages the names of the brawlers change completely, using French as an example again. We have a lot of changes. For example, 8-bit is called Arcada, El Primo is called El Costo, Gale is called Gale, Vivi is called Billy, Barley is Bartaba, and so on and so on and so on. The same thing happens with some other languages, like Italian or Portuguese. So maybe if you go to other countries to play. In Brawl Stars, the brawlers are known by other names that you don't even know. But tell me, what names do you think the brawlers should have in Spanish? Do you think they really deserve a change in this language?
Do you know which country plays Brawl Stars the most worldwide? Yes. Out of all the countries in the world, honestly, there are many countries where people get really hooked on Brawl Stars. Some countries like Japan, Spain, Russia, and so on are places where people play Brawl a lot. But have you ever really wondered which country actually plays Brawl Stars the most? Well, interestingly, and to no one's surprise, this country is none other than Brazil. Yes, more than 40% of Brawl Stars players are from Brazil. And it seems that's why they released a 100% Brazilian brawler and promoted it as a 100% Brazilian brawler.
Did you know that in Brawl Stars, the first collaboration brawler wasn't Buzz Lightyear? Yes, as we all know, the only collaboration brawler that has ever existed in the history of Brawl Stars has been Buzz Lightyear. But actually, the first brawler in the entire history of the game to be a collaboration wasn't Buzz Lightyear, but rather a brawler that only existed in the game's alpha and was planned as a collaboration that Supercell eventually ended up scrapping. And in the earliest versions of the game, there was a brawler called Hog Rider, but in the end, he was scrapped. Well, Supercell decided to make Brawl Stars not so closely related to the Clash universe. Did you know that there was a secret star power in Brawl Stars that only existed in the Chinese version? Yes, this might sound geeky or like clickbait, but it was real. As we all know, the Brawl Stars China server is actually quite different from the global version. It has extremely flashy skins, different events, and other things that make the Chinese version very appealing to the public. But in terms of gameplay, when it comes to star power, gadgets, and hypercharges, it's the same as regular Brawl Stars. However, in 2021, Brawl Stars China players came across a secret star power that was only available in this server shop, which was Colt's third star power. But this one was completely legal. In its description, it said that the star power would give the brawler a 2000 health shield every time it appeared. You could buy this ability in the shop for 79 gems, but even after unlocking it and paying your gems for it, in the end, if you went to the menu to equip it, you simply couldn't use it. But interestingly, Supercell didn't refund the gems. So yes, this was the most useless star power in the whole game.